is Sabrina, and I'm going to be doing my report on the book Forward by Abby Wambach, which is basically a biography of not only her soccer career but also her experience through soccer and what she had to go through growing up in New York. And yeah, so I'm just gonna start with question number 1, which was, why did you choose this book? And this book was important to me because I played soccer at a young age, not too young, age 10, but growing up I was always watching the World Cup and the Olympics, and of course Abby was a big part of that team. She was always the leader, always someone, you know, everyone looked up to, and even though she wasn't my favorite at the time, I definitely wanted to look more into her because I didn't know much about her, but I knew she had a lot of difficulties growing up, and I thought it'd be really cool and really fun to know more about her. So that's why I chose this book. So question number 2 is, what did you find most interesting about the story? So what I found most interesting is that this book isn't really about soccer. It's more about Abby's life and the struggles she had to go through in life. You know, from a young age, she always knew she was really good at soccer. Sometimes it was something she didn't want to do because, you know, she didn't want it to overcome her life, and obviously it did, and it also goes through other struggles that she had. So question number 3 is, what did you find most interesting about this story? So what I found most interesting about this story is that it's not really based on soccer and how Abby, you know, became the greatest soccer player in the world with her tricks and her skill, but it's more about her life and her struggles that she had to go through with soccer. In the beginning of the book, she kind of talks about how she didn't want to play at first because she was so good and everyone wanted her to play, and she didn't want it to overcome her life, which obviously it did. So that was a big part of the story, and also talks about other struggles in her life, such as, you know, her sexuality, going to school. And, you know, I really enjoyed it because I was expecting a book about soccer and about, you know, her skills and, you know, what she did, but it was more about her life, and that was a twist I wasn't expecting, but I really did enjoy it. Okay, so the next question is, what did you learn that you didn't already know about your main character team? So something that I didn't know about Abby is her relationship that she had with soccer, which was very interesting to me. And through the book, I realized that everyone has their own connection to their sport. And everyone views their sport differently, and everyone, you know, puts as much effort into their sport you want. And of course, Abby was one of the greatest soccer players of all time. So soccer really meant a lot to her. And, you know, it was something that she always was working on. But she did have a love-hate relationship with it. Meaning that when soccer was in season, she ended up pushing like all her problems to the side. You know, she had drinking problems and drug problems, and during season, you know, she didn't have time to focus on those, so she would just give it up for the time being, and then, you know, all these problems got pushed to the side, and when she retired, you know, she had to deal with all those problems. So soccer was really, I would say, a part of her and made a lot of decisions in her life, and even though she was the best in the world, you know, there's a quote in the book that says, you know, compared to one of the other players, like, she had a pure love for the game, and, you know, she would even play it by herself, which is something Abby didn't have. And after I read this, you know, I thought it was really interesting because it kind of baffled me at first. I was kind of like, what does that even mean? But the more I kind of thought about it, I came to the conclusion that everyone has their own connection with sport, and that's okay that everyone doesn't have the same connection. Okay, so the final question is, did you enjoy the book? Why or why not, and would you recommend it? So personally for me, because I am a big fan of soccer, I really did enjoy the book. Like I said in the beginning, it wasn't really something that was focused on soccer and how to become the best soccer player in the world. It was no more focused on her life and, you know, what she had to go through. And so I would recommend it to people who were looking more into who she was and, you know, what big of an impact she made if you didn't already know. But I would definitely not recommend it if you're looking for a book, you know, for skills, what to do, you know, how to get into professional soccer. I'm sure there's a lot of books like that, but for this book, it was truly special to Abby and her life and what she did, and I really enjoyed it, so yes, I would recommend this book overall.